Today we're going to talk about creating a palette and using it in Divi. Anytime you're working on a project, you want the website to have consistent colors. So let's start out by going to Divi, Theme Options, and anytime you've just installed something in Divi, you're going to have the default colors here. Maybe those are the right colors for your website, but probably your client has some specific colors they'd like to use. So before we change the colors here, we need to look and see how to come up with a palette so we know the colors and the color values to use here in Divi. Before you can create a palette, you have to figure out what colors you want to put in the palette. And there are many different ways that you can do that. For this specific example, I found a graphic down here, and I'll let you look a little more closely at it in a second. And that graphic has 8 unique colors in it, and they work well together. So we're going to use that. Now maybe you get it from the client's logo, maybe you get it from other graphics they already have, maybe they have a palette in place. So how you get that palette can vary widely. And I always create a branding document, so I've got my title at the top, the logo would go here, and as I scroll down, I've got the various colors that are part of it, and then I would list the fonts that I'm going to use on that website. So now that we have this graphic, the next step will be getting the colors used in the graphic so we know their color values to include in Divi. I'm going to use a graphics tool, CorelDRAW, to sample my colors. You might prefer Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, Canva, or any of another graphic tools out there. It doesn't matter which tool you use. The key is to figure out what colors you're going to use. So I'm going to grab an eyedropper tool. Almost every graphics tool out there has one. I'm going to click on this green to sample it, and then I'm going to drop the color on that square. The next thing I need to know is what color is it. So as I select that box, I can choose the color. Down here it shows me exactly what it is. Now the color value is probably outside of the video screen. It's A4C 7C3. So A4C 7C3. Okay, and I'm going to do one more in the video. So I'm going to sample this pink, drop it over here. We'll select the square, and that one you can see within the video screen, and it's F56E7D. So F56E7D. And I would repeat that process until I had sampled all the colors I wanted to add to my color palette. Now keep in mind, in the main Divi color palette, there's only 8 slots. And I always reserve 2 of those slots for black and white. So that means you want to find 6 other colors. Doesn't mean you can't have more, but only 6 others would appear in the palette. So keep that in mind as you're choosing colors for your palette. Once I finished the last section of the video, I actually sampled 2 more colors. So we're going to replace some of the colors, 4 of them, down here. We've got black and white already, so I'm going to click on the red, and we're going to change that. And the first color we sampled was A4C 7C3. And you see, sometimes it doubles up like that, so I'm going to have to go back and fix things. And we'll hit enter, and you'll see the first color we sampled before. Now we'll go to the next one, and this one was F56E7D. And we'll hit enter, and that's the pink color you saw sampled earlier. We'll go on to the third color, and this one is 336799. Oops. Might help if I type the right numbers there. Okay, so that's kind of a blue. And the fourth one we're going to put in is FF9934. So now we've done those first four colors, the blue and the purple, just so we don't accidentally use them. I'm going to go ahead and just click a red color there and the same basic red color there, so we know that these are two empty slots. Once I have all the colors I want in my palette, I click on Save Changes, and those colors are going to be available when I'm designing things in Divi. Once you've got your palette colors set in Divi, you can actually put them to use. So let's go to Pages, All Pages, and let's look at Sample Page. And on this page, I'm going to start by creating a new section. We'll just make it a regular section, one column in our row. And let's go ahead and make this some text. Okay, so before we do any text, let's go into our section settings, background color, and just below background color, there's that exact same palette that we saw earlier. So I'm going to make the background of this section that blue color right there. We'll go ahead and save that. And in our text settings, let's go ahead and type some text here. And I'm going to choose a text color of this orange. That might not be the best looking design ever, but I want you to see exactly what this looks like. So we'll go ahead and select that. And now let's preview what this looks like on desktop. So there is our blue background with the orange text on top of it. And if we want to make that text a little bit bigger so it's easier to see, we can go into text. And let's change the size to 24, and maybe we'll make it bold, that way it'll stand out a little bit better. There we go. So you can see how easy it was to choose colors once we'd already put them into the Divi palette. And keep in mind, we only looked at a section background and some text. Those same colors can be used throughout all kinds of Divi modules, and it will make your design time much shorter if you set up your color palette in advance.